Couch, shut up. This is Risk of Rain 2. I'm wearing a VidCon hat. This came out on consoles like 4 days ago now. Yeah, I'm gonna leave that on. Everything else is a mess. This came out on consoles like 4 days ago. And since I can't upload any videos on time, I don't know, it's not really a good game for VODs, I guess they would be called. And it's just a stream-friendly game. I need to figure out how to put, like, thumbnails in streams and things. I also need to take a day and organize my channel into playlists and make it all nice. I did play it earlier on my 4 just to get the Huntress unlocked. Got it on the PC, but I can't figure out OBS, and streaming from the PC is a lot harder. And there are tutorial messages on the PlayStation 4. Can I unlock the other one? I can, but I don't play as him, so I don't really want to go that route. I go exclusively Huntress. And you'll hopefully see why pretty soon. If I can get the right power-ups going, actually find some loot crates. Oh yeah, loot crate died. Not sure how I feel about that. I guess we'll never see Ida shotgun another loot crate to death. No, I haven't watched all of Full Force yet. It's like a disclaimer for mentioning that username. You have to watch all of Full Force. I know it's like the best documentary ever made, but I work. And I switched from working nights to working days, so... And now I'm going back because switching to days was a mistake. This is even worse hours. It's like, hey, do you want to work 10:30 at night to 6:30 in the morning, or do you want to work 4:30 in the morning to 3? Like, how do you even sleep for that? You can't sleep after work. Because if you do, you'll wake up at 9:30 and just won't be able to go back to bed again. But if you stay up, you barely get up when your alarm goes off. That and my insurance tracking my driving app is like, hey, you shouldn't be driving at these hours. You're stupid. And there's a dog barking. I think it's a new dog because I haven't heard it before. If it's a new dog, he'll settle down pretty quick. I bought a car that takes a custom battery. And the battery's going out. But hey, I have a car where the blinkers always work, and not just sometimes. Yeah. Not a day goes by where I don't think of all the people I met at VidCon and then let down. I'm gonna change that once I can get things in my own life settled in. And I really do need to make just an in-depth video talking about this year because so much has happened that needs to be just discussed. Like, not even just for whatever micro community I've carved out, just for me to be able to just put it all in one space and to be able to process everything. Also, I have a really annoying skill where I can pick up accents, so if I drop into Canadian, it's because I've been completely obsessed with Letterkenny. So that's what's going on. I'm not having a stroke. It's fine. I mean, the thing about it is, like, it's completely involuntary, too. I just remember how people say things, which lends itself to picking up accents very well. And it's not even cool ones. It could be that I just hear it in my head while I'm going, and that it just doesn't actually happen. I haven't, like, recorded it to prove it, or had any friends to try it with to prove it. Okay. Ow. My glankles. I don't think I uploaded that one. I recorded this with Jesse a while back, and I need to get rid of my video backlog. I work assembly lines. I should know how bad backlog is. I'm just trying to find loot crates to get this all done. Problem is, I should be better than this. I know better than this. But hey, what do? Nothing. And then doing nothing causes me to have crippling anxiety attacks, where I can't get up off the floor of my closet. So that's good. What is this? Oh, critical attacks. Why didn't you give me a good one? Now, before you complain, I already did get the "is this bugged" mechanic. So they're not cheating me out of an achievement. Yeah, I'm not gonna do the Shrine of the Mountain. Oh, it's just a Wandering Vagrant, okay. That's not gonna hit the Vagrant. I don't know why Jesse hates the Wandering Vagrant so much. Probably the easiest boss in the game. Just kind of sits there. It only has that one attack that's really a danger. The rest is remedied by the laser cleave or just being the Huntress in general. She doesn't have a lot of health, but she does a ton of damage. It's super great for crowd control. Did I pick up the power-up already? Oh, ukulele! I like Chain Lightning combined with my Laser Cleave. That is a stupid amount of fun. And the hunters can shoot while sprinting. Something that I didn't appreciate until I had to start over with the generic Space Marine guy to unlock the hunters on the PlayStation 4. I mean, on the PC, I have all the characters that are in the game thus far. There's a couple more that haven't released yet. I really hope that the camera's set up properly so I'm not staring into your soul the entire time. I did that with a test video I made the, like, year before I actually started uploading. Like, I started my channel clear back in, like... It was between 2014 and 2016 when I actually started trying to do things. And I've always been bad at uploading. I had a patch of, like, maybe a month at most where I managed to upload something every day. They weren't good. Like, then again, nothing I've ever made is good. Like, why would you watch me when you can watch, like, The Unamazing Rando or a whole bunch of other names that I can't remember off the top of my head? Like, That's So Maven. If you find That's So Maven, let me know immediately. I've been looking. I set up an Instagram since VidCon, and now I can't find them. And it makes me really sad because he was really nice to me, and I don't know. I thought I had a friend on the platform, and then I lost him. Now it makes me really sad. Like, it's so dumb to still be talking about VidCon, but it's such a big thing for me every year, and it lasts, like, all year. I'm still trying to process everything that I did, and who I met, and what I learned from the year before last, when I went to VidCon the first time. When I met Olin Rogers, and now he told me I should get on Forged in Fire within the next 3 years and make that my goal. And, like, I think I go to VidCon with the wrong expectations. Like, I go there to learn things, but, like... And then I get mad at all the panelists for saying the wrong things, or saying stupid things, or not... just bending the knee towards their YouTube overlords and just shouting out the products that they want them to give out, like the community tabs, which are horribly and horrendously broken. But you wouldn't know it if you went to VidCon. The notifications that are horribly and horrendously broken, except at VidCon, they all work. They're all great. Everything's good. Yeah, hey panelists, what would you fix about the platform? Oh, nothing. It's absolutely perfect. Sure, great, good. Yes, tell me how being a family-friendly model on Instagram, streaming your life. I can't think of a family-friendly alternative for, you know the type. They're so old, they've been around for so long, Leafy made fun of them. You know, the models that decide they're gonna play games on Twitch. Trust me, playing games on Twitch, if you're a model, you make money. Because there are a lot of 12-year-olds on the internet that really don't want those other sites showing up in their search history when they can get it from Twitch, and mom is mad. Yeah, Twitch scares me, which is why I haven't researched into it, and I really should look into, like, Twitch, or I don't want to just be cringy cancer right now, but Twitch or, like, Mixer. I've looked into a couple of underground ones, most notably the streaming platform called Caffeine. I don't think it exists anymore, because they wanted to pay you based on subscribers from your YouTube channel, which is not what advertisers look for, and if someone with any type of a name showed up, they'd instantly go broke. It doesn't make a lot of sense. It's like they have their business model on the page, and it really doesn't make a lot of sense. There's no way for, like, the platform itself to make money. They're just shelling out money And no one can afford to do that. There needs to be a sustainable way of you earning money. And you don't have a job that pays you like the $1,000 an hour it would take for anyone who built a name for themselves. It takes just a stupid amount of money to maintain it, which, I mean, Google has for YouTube, but I don't know. And I've started getting on Twitter a lot more. I haven't been, like, actually tweeting anything myself, because I'm scared to. Because a Quiet fan account liked a picture I took and put on my Instagram, and I was afraid that Quiet was going to find it and make fun of me. Hello? That hasn't happened yet. Yeah, it's only 7:30. I should be good. I just hope I'm not being loud. I'm still afraid of that. I really should sign in and see if rent was taken out, or if that's just my account naturally draining over the course of time. Because I don't want to be evicted. That would be really bad. And right when I got my credit score turned around from paying for 2 separate hotels because one charged in advance and they didn't have my reservation when I got there. There weren't friends with me and it was the wrong one, and VidCon was fun. VidCon, ugh. I left for a wedding that I wasn't even going to or invited to for a friend that was supposed to be going with me. And it was fun. Oh, I remember why it's so hot in here. I turned on my AC so that my electric bill isn't $100 this month again when I have to license my car, which is expensive. Good. There's no one here. Everyone's busy at college, recovering from PAX, which I couldn't go to. Because I never know when that's happening or where it is. And I need to get VidCon dates right away because I've got like 6 different alternative trip plans to make. And they all involve every mode of transportation, from plane to train. And I need to figure out exactly how much that costs, draw up a pitch, see if it'll be a family vacation affair while they go to Disney World while I do all my stuff. Or Disney World or Disneyland or whichever one is there. I don't know, Disney was a Nazi, who cares? That's really funny to me because Disney was an outspoken anti-Semite, but they severed ties with Felix for allegations of Felix being an anti-Semite. Fire people for believing what your founders believed. That's what you should do, Disney. Severing ties with Jake Paul, though, good move. The internet hates that guy. Felix, though, bet you're wishing you had that guy back. I'm really glad that things are finally working out for Felix. I know that he gets a bad rap because he's the biggest and everyone says he's taking all the views and everything. He's really not. He's got 100 million subscribers now and he averages, what, 4 or 5 million views a day? I mean, it's still amazing and really, really good, but he's no 5-minute crafts. As far as views go, there are definitely bigger channels. Like but that's not what people track. And Felix is doing really well, and he's found an avenue, a creative outlet for him to enjoy, and he's finally married Marzia, which is, it's about time. And just like things seem to be working out for him, he seems to be a lot happier. Which I guess is the goal for everyone. Barking dog agrees with me. That's not the same dog. That's coming from that a separate building, right? This is why I'm not in the army. I can't place echoes. Also, the hearing test that I took for work was complete just RNG. They didn't care. They didn't have a specialist there. They didn't have a soundproof room. There were like 9 of us crammed in there. The headphones didn't work. Nothing worked. Like, I've tested. I hear a lot better than they say I do. So I'm mad about that. I'm not Hawkeye, I'm not deaf. I'll be fine. Also, their equipment sucks. I thought my equipment was bad. I didn't know there were lunar coins in those urns. What is this, Legend of Zelda? Yeah, the Beetle Queen sucks. Mostly for me because it trips all kinds of phobias. So that's good. Which is why I got that No Man's Sky live stream, because those monsters are really great. I hate them all. Did I mention that the Huntress doesn't have a lot of health? This is going to be one of those where no one shows up. Oh, God! Yep, I had a time where there were people here, but then I didn't do anything for so long they all left. Like always. I end up going to something, giving the right answers, people come back, and then I just end up doing nothing, and then they all leave. And it's all excuses and right answers. But it doesn't get me any closer to anything. Go back to working nights the 23rd. I'll be working a lot fewer hours. I'll be going in a lot later than... I'll be going in at 10:30 and then I'll be coming out at 6:30. And I won't have to work Saturdays. Which, for frame of reference, would be Friday night into Saturday morning. I'll go in Sunday night because that's our Mondays. And I'll actually be able to do things because I know how to sleep for third shift. And I can still wake up at 8:30 and get a lot of things done. Not everything. I mean, channel-wise. You can't really do a lot of editing in 2 hours. But I guess I can stream some. My channel will be a mess with streams then, but it's already a mess. No one will end up being here, but no one's ever here, so I don't need to be that sad about that. I don't need to be sad about a lot of things because I've already dealt with it. I mean, I had to drive an hour one way to work a 10-hour third shift, and then drive an hour back home. To a home that's a terrible, suffocating environment. Literally, like medically suffocating. And I got through it. I drove a car that I couldn't drive 10 miles without putting oil in it. It had no less than 3 different types of black mold growing in it. I mean, it gave, you know, I moved out of my mom and dad's house effectively with a pair of boots and what I could fit in my car. What I could fit in my car in Noah's van. And now I've got a mostly, like, almost new Camaro. I've got a top floor corner apartment if you want to split hairs on it, if you're in a big city. I've got things. I can do pretty much anything. I'm far enough away where mom and dad can't really get to me, which is a good thing, but I'm close enough to offer everyone else sanctuary from them. If they need it. And that's what made this year so hard, was like coming to the realization that, like, I don't have change the radiator scars, but I grew up in a hugely abusive home. And I've just been processing that the entire time and trying to figure out what I'm supposed to do with that. And honest to God, how to strike back. Because I just can't just get away with it. One of these days, I swear, I'm gonna be a right opinion video. And not in a good way. I don't want that to be a thing. I don't want the commentary community to just find out about this through hearsay, and then that's how I make a name. And, like, realistically, none of that's going to happen, and I'm just spouting made-up fantasies to make me sad. Because that's typically what I always do. I know this is what I'm meant to do. But that fear of success that they put in you, being in an environment like that, it makes an impossible pipe dream even worse. Like, I know, I've heard the speeches. If you can make it in anything else, leave now and do that, because this industry will leave you broke, broken, and alone. There's no hope for you here. Leave now while you can. I know this is what I'm supposed to do. all these things coming to light this year and not being able to do anything about it and just being trapped by everything. Changing shifts and not being able to sleep for it. Leaving friends behind on third shift, which I never should have done, but I was pressured into. And there's just so many things that weren't my choice. And I just need to not be pressured into anything anymore. Especially if I'm going to get anywhere with this. Like, I've seen the content cops. I know what it can do. People aren't always nice. Especially not online. No pressure me into siding with people on the wrong side of this whole Game of Thrones that we call the internet. I've seen what they can do. Secondhand, but I've seen it. Yeah, I watch a lot of commentary videos. I know what it does. I know what they can do. First time in probably forever, I'm dealing with financial stresses. I've got things that I can't just pay for. Because I made some ill-timed investments. Like buying a car at the end of the month. And banking everything on 2 friends accompanying me to California. Not having a backup plan for if they didn't. I mean, I notified them pretty late, too. It wasn't even their fault. I don't blame them for it. I mean, traveling across the continent is an undertaking. And we wouldn't have even made it back in time for the wedding, because even with that one Greyhound bus driver, you got a 1 in 25 odds of making every stop, man. This guy was kind of obsessed. It was really nice because I made all of my connections and I didn't have to spend the night in any strange cities. I didn't lose my tickets this time, I held on to them. I didn't get left behind in Anaheim because I showed up at the bus stop no less than 3 hours early. I woke up at probably about 4:30, I can't remember exactly. And I turned on... Let's see, that was the beginning of A Feast for Crows. Either the beginning of A Feast for Crows or the end of A Storm of Swords. But anyway, I turned on one of George R.R. Martin's works and hiked 8 miles to the bus depot. That was terrifying. But I made it through. I made it back. I made it back on the 13th, just not in time for the wedding that was on the 13th, so... Even if they would have gotten the time off to go with me, it wouldn't have helped. And if they got the time off to go with me, I would have had to dish out a lot more money for hotel rooms. My saving grace was that there was only one of me, and I was able to get a 2-room for the entire week. But I still had to pay for the 3-room hotel that I couldn't find, and they'd lost my reservation before, and I couldn't find the number and all that. Then I thought that they'd just canceled it, and then I got charged for not showing up. It was just all kinds of mess. And of course I did this between Nebraska and like going through the Rockies. Somewhere between Nebraska and like Utah, I think is the first one in the desert. I spent way too long driving through Utah. Utah takes forever. I should have been like posting to Instagram like taking a pilgrimage through Leafy's homeland. That's a missed opportunity, man. If I had Instagram last year, I would have done a bunch of stuff with some pigeons I saw at the bus stop while I waited 4 hours for a bus that didn't exist. That was fun. You end up sitting on a bench watching pigeons while listening to a Game of Thrones. The book, not the show. You don't speak of the show. The show is garbage. The show is garbage since episode 1. Don't even get me started on a multi-million-dollar production with several hundred people working on set, and they can't clean it up. DC Legends had better sets. I'm referencing a show that I did with a couple of friends like 2 years ago that was absolute garbage and really horrible because a lot of them didn't get along for various personal reasons, and we just trapped them on set with each other for a long time. And people wouldn't show up when they were supposed to, and we sat around in costume for a couple of hours. I almost got arrested. That was a lot of fun. Yeah, the Central City Police Department doesn't take kindly to people existing. I can tell you that much. But hey, you know, we got through it, and hopefully one of us learned something from it. That's what you hope for, right? With bad experiences, you hope you learn something. Never do it again, that type of thing. This has gone from my typical brand of bad content to just horrifying. I mean, yeesh. It's real sad. Yeah, I can't keep things. You know, eventually I'm gonna run out of right answers to give and things are gonna come out. And it's better if they come out from me than from some commentary channel who did a deep search and came up that I was hiding everything. Assuming that I get so far that people will actually care. I know that people do. Using that as like building an audience and a community and a following, we'll call it. Actually get successful. Any real, tangible, measurable extreme. Yeah, I listen to a lot of audiobooks. It's honestly, Audible membership is pretty fairly priced. Like, okay. You know. I can do without, you know, I don't know, some small thing to pay for it. It's like 10, 12 bucks a month. It's really nothing. You know, I can just not go out one day. I say, like, I go out days at all. I was supposed to be plugged into a D&D group against my will, that we were going to meet on Sundays, and that was going to be our thing, but, no one can meet on Sundays, so we haven't even met since we formed the group. Which is really depressing, because there's a lot of talented writers in that group. There's 5 or 6 of us, and most of us, not counting me, have actually some talent in something. When I write things, I just typically steal a lot of stuff. Or put it in universes I don't own. So I can't do anything with it. My hands are kind of tied as far as fanfiction goes. None of it's good. And it came from an era of I'm 14 and this is deep, which was my entire life from like age 1 till about 2 years ago. So I got a lot of stuff for a tortured brain to keep me up at night with. I don't know why that doesn't work at work, but, you know, it is what it is. What are you gonna do? Best really drink 5-hour energies every day and feel your heart dying? Yeah, that's what I've done that a few times. I've actually worked a 10-hour shift on absolutely 0 minutes of sleep before. I can't remember what I was doing the day before, but it was something really super important that took all day and I couldn't sleep. And then I went to work. So I was awake for maybe 10, 24, close to 30 hours. Just had to work that previous night too. Wow. After a while, being awake just hurts physically. So, that's good. And that's something else, like, I'm just always tired after working these odd hours. Like, even if I sleep 9 hours on my days off, even on my days off, it's just like I just want to sleep all the time. Which is a facet of a bunch of different things. Yeah. You know, storytime YouTubers are like, look at the time I almost died when I tried to buy Pop-Tarts at the store and they didn't have any. So I was standing in the checkout line like an idiot. And I'm just like, yeah, I almost died of sleep depravity and or heart attack at the same time. And I overdosed on caffeine one night and that hurt a lot. I almost died because my arm almost got sucked into a roller press. I hate roller presses. I hate them. Something is going to go wrong. you know, I almost got run over by a forklift. I almost got rear-ended a bunch of times today. In a new car that isn't even licensed yet, that I'm not sure that I can afford. Now I gotta switch back to nights. Which my old boss is really happy about. And my new one is pretty upset with me about, because for whatever reason, everyone I meet instantly likes me. I don't know, I can't figure it out. Hello? Okay. Oh yeah, I got a Pebble. It's the Pebble 2E, the, like, black edition. And it shows text, and I'm doing something later tonight, and then I just got texted the plans. I really need to... Like, the hardest part about making a video of everything that's really gone wrong in my life that I need to process is a lot of the stories aren't mine to tell. And I've just got to carry them forever. And in a lot of ways, I gotta regret doing the right thing forever because I can't do anything about it. I gotta regret taking bad advice just forever. You know? And heap on top of that an abusive home that I'm just waking up from all of that and realizing that I was raised in a straight-up cult. Like, I'm amazed I'm not dead. I mean, I tried once, got hospitalized for it, and learned that if you talk to doctors at all, they are more than happy to hospitalize you for. And since you went voluntary, you kind of check out on a technicality, so you actually escape. But, jeez, doctors are way more than happy to lock you in a basement with a bunch of other people that don't deserve to be there, and have problems that they're not getting help from the MDs that run the place. But hey, I got an actual diagnosis out of it, whatever that's worth. So now I can scientifically prove that an MD said, I am not okay. Which is part of the reason why I have to do this anyway. See, it all comes full circle. I may skip a few steps, and I'm really bad at explaining things, so don't hire me as a teacher. But it all comes full circle, and that's part of the reason that drives me continuously to do this, and why I have this factory job that pays so well, and why I keep it, and why I try so hard at everything else, and everything that I do, everything that I plan my life around. I plan my life around this YouTube career actually being a thing. I plan my life around building a name for myself on the internet, helping people like me that get so much help from people like Mark and Sean and Felix and too many to name, that all just have to say that they sympathize but they can't empathize. Like, I'm glad I help you, but I can't say that because I don't have this. And I just have to think, how much more does it mean for someone that has these problems to come alongside people and say, like, you know, you can't always trust the people you're supposed to. You can't always lean on your family or your family doctor, or being hospitalized doesn't cure you, and sometimes people just have problems that they have to deal with in their life. Sometimes people just have disorders for life, and you manage them and you get better, but it doesn't ever get cured. They're not saying that everyone that has any type of disorder has no hope of being fully cured. I'm just saying that it's not really how it works. You have to process it and come to terms and find some type of peace in it. You have to work through it in a lot of times your own way, and there are ways to help, and I'd imagine there are MDs that'll actually help with that, and there's medications to help, and there's therapy if you find a quality therapist. And there are friends that are suffering through similar circumstances that are either further along or back behind that you can help, and they can help you. I'm just super fortunate that I have the friend groups I do, and I have my older brother that tortured me through childhood. Him and his wife have been like my strongest ally in my family for forever. And I mean, I can't do a whole lot to help. But I can try, and I mean every time I say, like, even if it costs me everything, or this is what I'm meant to do. I know that because there's nothing else that I can see myself doing. There's nothing else that I can do. Like, if there is a reason I was put here, this is it. Everything's gonna change, and I'm gonna have to stop living my life just explicitly for everyone else. I'm gonna have to start doing what's best for me and what's best for furthering my interests in my life. Not in a selfish way where I just shut everyone out and focus wholly on this and lose everything because of it. Just, I need to not be pressured into doing things that I don't want to do, like switching shifts that are just super harmful. Because I need like a dependable schedule and a dependable group of friends to just get through, and switching shifts has just really destroyed me. And in an exit review, you can't just say that. They tried to include me, and they tried to make everything better, and it's not anything that they can fix, and it's not even their problem. Like, I'm working on it. And I'm gonna get back into a department I know, and like doing things that I know, and that's gonna be huge. I'm gonna be able to do everything fairly well. And they're gonna keep me busy, which is also huge. Staying busy and distracting yourself is huge. Being able to have something you can go to as your safe space. And for high school, that was me and my PlayStation 3 playing either Skyrim or whatever Call of Duty Zombies was out at the time. I was incredibly lucky to have friends over the PlayStation Network that would put up with me long enough because I was good at the game. I had no mic and keyboard at the time. I was just basically a random playing on, honest to God, my mom's PlayStation Network account. Because I needed my mom's email to set it up because I was under the minimum age to set it up. That's the account I still use today, actually. And I played so much out of those. I would get to the point where I get to round 15, maybe 20, get bored and shut it off. I mean, like, when you're fighting to survive, man, you can't really focus on things like your grades and, you know, making friends like everyone else can. And doing things that can actually help stay alive. And when you're at a Christian school, no one believes you. They just tell you everything that makes it worse. You get things ranging from, you're going to hell for having this, to, this doesn't exist. They can't make up their minds on anything. They teach you Office 95 and pretend it's worth a degree. They tell kids, generation after generation, that they teach them the core principle, but completely wrong, that you're not worth saving. That nothing you do will make you worth saving, and they stop at that. And they complain when kids commit suicide, and they pretend not to understand why. God forbid I say anything bad about the high school my mom went to. Because that place is heaven on earth. With the asbestos in the walls and the cloth-wrapped wiring, it's heaven on earth. Them recruiting wealthy parents from Asia to send their kids over to Nebraska to learn English in high school is heaven on earth. The lying and backstabbing in politics is just heaven on earth. And that was also a perk of being plugged into that D&D group, was it? 99% of us were all Nebraska Christian survivors. I mean, you can check my Google Maps review. Probably a lot of you have seen it. I said a lot of what I thought of the place. It's got like 900 views on it. Yeah, no, Nebraska Christian, I'm not taking it down. No, Doc Weiler family, even if you pitch at me that it should be taken down because of all the good work we do of spreading the gospel of Jesus Christ, no, I'm never taking it down. I'll take the school down. I'll raise it to the ground brick by brick before I say one positive thing about the worst experience in my entire life. And other people's. I'll fight it. I'm just against organizations designed to butcher kids in batches. But that's just me. You know? What do I know? I'm so glad that I had the friends I came out of there with, because most of them have stayed with me through everything, even today. So many people that the relationships have completely changed, and that I've got some of my closest friends and allies now that I thought would never even be on speaking terms with me. And like I said, a lot of these stories aren't mine to tell. Yeah, you know, I worked in that local Dairy Queen. I worked everything but the summer season for 3 years. And I detasseled afterwards. You know, big shout out to my block. I forget your usernames, but you guys were actually pretty great. That really helped. That kept me busy. Walking through cornfields, and it put some money in my pocket, so I was able to do something and have some illusion of control over my life and where it was going. I don't have to care about Mom finding this or anything else I do, because she doesn't care. She doesn't care. She couldn't figure out how to set up a YouTube account if she wanted to. And if she does, good for you. Maybe you'll finally know. Maybe someday I'll have an audience as good enough to say, you know what, this is bad, and you did bad. Maybe someone will be able to call out you and people like you. Someone will cut through the facade of your small town charm. I don't want to destroy anything. I don't want to hurt them. And I gotta remember that myself, because that's hard. I want to be able to be the one that said, look at everything you did, and how I moved on, and how I got better despite of it. And really the worst I can do is say, you don't get to be proud of me. Because what I've done was in spite of you holding me back. You trying to beat me down. And I made something of myself. And not only that, but I've helped so many find a voice and find solid ground and say, look, this is bad, and this is what I'm against. I'm actually in a bad situation, and I can seek help. Because I'm not making it up. That's the worst lie. Is that you're making it all up, that it's not as bad as it seems, because it's not one that they tell you. It's one that you have to make up for yourself to justify what's happening. Everyone else in town likes them, and they're nice to everyone else. You go down that road, and then it's a problem with you. You continue down that road and you end up in a morgue. It's pretty far down there. But you get there faster than you want to. What happened to this? Supposed to be a time where I sat down and played some Risk of Rain 2 because I enjoy the game, and I've got some friends that also enjoy the game, and I get back into YouTube, or at least I try to, or pretend I'm trying to, and I give another right answer and another excuse. But instead it turns into therapy session by NF. Good God, I'm sad. I need to reply to this so that he knows I'm still awake and can come over. Hopefully that's good enough. Ow, stop biting me. I mean, it kind of works. I've got a really dark, twisted backstory, and this game also has a really dark, twisted backstory to it, too. It's fine. And like, before everyone puts me on their suicide watches again, I'm not okay, but I'm far more stable than I've ever been. I've got an environment that supports me. I've got people around me that support me. I've got someone coming over tonight, so don't worry about that. Like, on a positive note, like, for me at least, things can get better. Like, I'm gonna get better, but I don't think I'll ever be completely cured. But I know it can get better. And it's going to. I've got 2 big family meetups that I need to go to for extended family reasons. A year, and I'm through half of it. I don't have any big trips the rest of the year. I don't have anything that's going to be really a financial stress for a couple of years. Pretty much all I gotta do is get an extension on the lease of this apartment, and no one's filed any complaints. I still have the funds to do that, and it's gonna all work out. I'm not broke yet. I need to get to paying my internet bill when the weekend is done. But other than that, my rent, my power, and everything else is paid. And I'm starting to save up again from that whole hotel debacle. My credit score's coming back around since I had to put it on a credit card. I've got that subsequently paid off. I'm doing the best I've ever done, but it's still the worst year in my life. And I don't get it. It doesn't make any sense. And I'm gonna share my thoughts, whether it's on YouTube or Facebook, God forbid, or Twitter, or... Like, I just need to start the conversation. Shut up, Watch. I know I didn't walk as much as I should have. But I just need to, like, start that healing process. Because, you know, maybe I can be completely cured, but I won't know until I get there. So I need to start getting there. And everybody says, you know, admit you have a problem, that's the first step. That's normally referred to, like, alcohol abuse and addictions of that nature, but Like, I've got a problem and I want to get better, and that's huge, even. Especially for something like this, because a lot of people just don't want to get better. You're like, this is a way to get better, and not only for me to get better, but for other people to get better through it, and if I'm not gonna help other people get better through it, then why am I doing it? That's the whole reason I'm doing this. If I'm not doing this for the whole reason I'm doing it, then why am I doing any of it? Why am I putting in like 10, 12 hours editing videos when I have a fever of over 100? You know, why am I doing any of it? Why am I recording through the jankiest setup ever, just trying to get a video out that no one will see? It's because I sincerely believe not only in the platform and what it can be and what it has been, but I believe that this is a legitimate way for people to deal with this type of issue and that people use. It's a type of free therapy. And there's just been nothing but support in it that it's so weird, and it's not supposed to happen this way. I'm supposed to get a ton of hate, and then it's supposed to get better, and I'm supposed to want to die because of all of it. I'm supposed to, like, disable the comments because it gets so bad, and... But it's just been nothing but support. Everyone I talk to, everyone that I bring up why I'm doing it, they're all on board. And it's about more than just paying it forward. Well, I guess that's kind of it, really. I just want it to be something more profound. I know I write sometimes, I want better words. I wanted to do this since before I knew you could even make money at it. I sincerely thought all the YouTubers just had jobs outside of it and they just did this in their spare time. And you know, I've helped someone. I sincerely believe that. At least I helped someone feel better. Someone I met at VidCon, we didn't even meet because of the channel, because hey, no one's here, I can vent all I want, maybe someday someone will find it and be positively affected by it. And if that's what it is, then that's what it is. I've got a job that I really don't need to care about demonetization. I don't really need to care about all this stuff that's going on, as far as like the financial side of YouTube. I make enough to get by. I get by pretty nicely. My traditional, we'll call it a 9 to 5. I mean, I'm in a pretty good area too. It's pretty far from anything YouTube related. But, I mean, when I'm working for Kevin, I can just effectively, you know, I don't have access to the broken time off request website, and Kevin understands. And he'll put in the request, and he'll, you know, he'll listen to me. People in this department will listen to me and not kind of pretend I don't exist when I bring anything up. I've got some really good friends. I mean, as far as like showing them occasional funny things I find on Reddit during the break room friends, but they've helped me more than they'll ever know. And I left them behind because the department gossip was in the office that one day when I asked how hard it was. They switched to first shift. So everyone was looking out for it, and they found one that was accepting entry level, and I applied for it, because if I didn't apply for it, then I'd be a liar to everyone. And then when they accepted it, I had to take it, because otherwise I would just be a liar to everyone. And so I took it, and I tried everything I could to make it work. And like, it was really nice because I didn't have to work Sunday at all. I didn't have to work Sunday night into Monday. I didn't I have to work Sundays. I just worked the 58-hour weeks, which I was working before and I was used to. And for like the first 2 weeks we met on Sundays and it was really great. I was able to spend all day with my friends and I didn't have to leave early or anything. And it was great. And then that dried up because everyone got busy and I didn't even do that anymore. And it just turned into me being at home in my apartment, just waking up sick every day and just not caring anymore and calling in sick way too much and I've gotten in trouble for it. I'm not going to do that anymore. I'm going to make my life better so that I don't wake up and just feel sick from all the dread of going into work. And it's going to be better. I apologize to anyone who tries to watch this. It's just been building up for 22 years now, which is my entire life. Yeah, I was born in the end of '96, so what? Things might get really sad for a while, as far as content goes. I apologize for that. I'm gonna try not to. I mean, I always do. I try not to, and I try to censor myself as much as possible and build a solid foundation later on so that the press can't use it against me and everything. It's like I said, everything is planned on this working. I'll be going back to something I like doing at work too. It'll be somewhere that I like doing, and I'll be building stuff that I not only know how to build, I just like building it. Well, it's easier in some ways, it's harder in other ways. But without giving away company secrets, I just like it more. It's more satisfying. Leave it at that. I really need to talk to the guys at American Auto here and see if I can make an ad for them, because good God, those guys went out of their way to help an idiot like me buy a car. And I'm just so grateful that they broke all of the stereotypes of the used car salesman, and they didn't overcharge me, they didn't do anything like that, and I'm just so grateful for them for not trying to get more money out of me, you know, not trying to torture me into something I didn't want. And it's a little bit of stress because, you know, I didn't have, you know, the full purchase price in my pocket at the time. So I gotta make payments on that, and that's an extra thing I gotta do every month, so... But I can afford it, you know? It's not something that's gonna put too much stress, and I'm gonna still be able to do this, and I'm gonna go to work, and everything's gonna be fine. Gonna be just a little harder for a while, but someday everything will be aces. That's a quote from a character in a fan fiction that no one will get. I don't know why I brought that up. It's also a good quote, though. I use it to myself a lot. It's stuff like that that helps. It's those positive thoughts, changing your standard responses to, like, in passing, you know, cashiers and whatever will ask, you know, how are you? And you answer with, like, I'm tired, a long day, that type of thing. And if you keep answering those, you're gonna, like, it's one of those things where, like, I'm trying to say this without sounding too hipster, but, like, if you keep answering with those, you're gonna start believing them. And they're gonna start becoming you. So, like, yeah, you're tired all the time, you're working long weeks, but try to find something out of it, you know? And try to, like, reply back to them. You know, it's not a lot, but, I mean, even if you can't hear them and you have to, like, nod along, or, you know, you're just in passing, someone that at least they think is listening to them, someone that's at least trying to listen to them, like, it makes their day. At least that's been my experience. Like, really, relax. If someone, like, messes up your order on like, a burger you ordered, there's a lot going on that you don't see. Just, like, relax a bit, take off the onions, and get on with your day. They try their best, man, and if it takes a while because they're 2 people short, and it takes 8 minutes to get you your frickin' McMuffin, don't yell at them for it. It's not their fault. They're working with 2 people down. Be nice for a change, because no one is. Well, a lot of people I meet are actually really nice, but the loud ones aren't nice. We gotta make up for that. You know? It's the mean ones that everyone notices. It's the angry ones that everyone notices, because they're loud. And we gotta make up for that. I don't really care what your motivations are, religious or otherwise. It's just a good idea. Because you know what? Everyone's going through life. Everyone's suffering somehow. If we can make it a little better for them, maybe it'll make it a little better for us later on. At least it makes you feel like you're like you have a life worth living for a second. And not feeling like human garbage all the time is something that I aspire to. So at least for me, I try. I'm not good at it, but I'll try with everything I've got. That's just how I do everything. Knife making, internet videos. I try with everything I've got. I'm not good at it, but I'll try. I'll go with a mystery one, why not? No, it's the same. Speaking of mystery ones, how many people think that, like, mystery flavors are just someone farted at the assembly line and they're like, well... Or they're just regular ones that they put mystery on just to see if anyone notices that they're just regular ones. You know, just r/shower thoughts a little bit. One of my drones died? Are they only temporary now? Oh, that would be bad. Oh no. I just thought I feel bad if any of the people I met at VidCon try watching this. After this, I'm gonna binge watch a bunch of Markiplier with some friends and catch up on that, on the good MCU, we'll call it, and then and I'll be back at this in the morning since I don't have to work Sundays until the 23rd, and I'll be working nights. But for whatever reason, it's a lot easier to do everything when I'm working nights, so I'm gonna work nights, I guess, and I get paid more to do it, so I'm gonna work nights, I guess. You know, I don't do anything anyway, and at least working nights I have an excuse, so... I'll sit at home, watch Letterkenny, progressively get more and more Canadian. And then I'll watch some Sean and get more and more Irish, and they'll kind of balance out. That's how it works, right? I've got some coping mechanisms. They may not be the best, but they're definitely not the worst. I've had a lot worse. But hey, you know, later on down the road, scars lactis brew. If nothing else. And if after helping people, there's a lot of people that want to scam you. There's a lot of people that say this will automatically cure you. This will cure what ails you. Send in $1.98, get your pink and purple pills and be done with it. That's an old Ray Stevens song. Not typically an artist that I care for, but it fits. It's just not my style, not really anything personally against him, other than my dad really likes him. There's that. What are you? Hello? Is my game broken? What was that? You guys saw that, right? Like a health bar flew up across the top of the map and was gone. That's not just me. A little bit out of practice. I had a lot of fun recording this with Jesse a while back, and I'll do my best if I didn't upload it already to make that out and make it work. And now it's on the internet, Noah has to do it. We're gonna start a podcast. Or, well, I'll call it a podcast. It's kind of like the Three Peens in a podcast. It'll just be like surrounding Minecraft, and we'll end up talking about writing a lot, because that's something that he does as a published author, and that's something that I do a little bit in my spare time as kind of a hobby. And we can have guests like my Aunt Karen, who's actually really good to me, and has been really good to me throughout my life. Has earned my respect time and again, and other friends that Noah has in the industry, and it'll just be a place where I can actually talk shop about what's going on the platform and not have to worry about dumbing myself down, so to speak. And he can talk about what's going on in his world and not have to dumb himself down. And we can talk about different things that help us do our various creative tasks, and it doesn't have to be specifically about writing, but I needed a way to bait him into it. Don't worry, I'm gonna bring Jesse on there. He's the only funny guy I have on my channel so far. Oh no, Cole's gonna watch this someday. Oh no. I'm gonna put on a couple of watch lists after this, but that's nothing new. I was on those all the way through high school, and for good reason. Like, yeah, if... That's another thing, like, going back to that, because it's just so important. Like, if you're having suicidal thoughts, tell someone. A teacher you respect, one of your true friends that won't desert you no matter what, one of, you know, a classmate you trust, that type of thing, your doctor even. If no one else will listen. And like, any reason to not go there is a good reason. Like, go ahead and like share your reasons, no matter how stupid they are. You know, you gotta see how the season of Letterkenny ends. You gotta know, which one of the Stark Wolves survives a Song of Ice and Fire. You know, you gotta finish that one quest in Skyrim when you get home from school. Any reason. I'm gonna put that on a shirt if legal reasons allow it. And like, that could be another thing. You know, I gotta settle this lawsuit. I can't have this on everyone else's hands while this is going on. Stuff like the dog would be sad. They wouldn't understand. You'd just be waiting forever. You know, it's stuff like that that keeps us alive. It's stuff like that that makes us able to do anything, I mean, even if you don't do anything that you think is major, maybe it inspires someone down the road. Look up a time travel drama. All the paradoxes from squashing a mosquito that inspired the guy to use DEET as bug repellent. And it works, you know? But if that one never bit him, then we never have bug spray, and everyone dies of the Zika virus or something. It's stuff like that that really works. And like I said, it worked for me, like distraction, burying myself in something, being able to just have something to do that was mine, that I could control. Which was as little as Call of Duty Zombies. Which I've actually done some on the channel. The PC version, I did some modded maps a while back. I did a Futurama one that I had to record 3 times because my audio was broken. And it's the little stuff like that that, you know, you pull out your PlayStation 3 when you move out and you're having a panic attack, and you finally pry yourself off the closet floor long enough to plug in the PlayStation 3 and start Call of Duty Black Ops and launch into a game that has saved your life so many times in the past. And realize, like, what you had back then, and that, you know, you're gonna be alright. You've been through it. I mean, you've already started, and that's the hardest part. The rest is keeping going. I'm serious, no reason is a bad reason. Unless, you know, genocide is one of them, then you should seek some help sooner rather than later. I mean, hey, maybe a comment section full of reasons is what inspires someone to find a new reason, you know, when they run out. You know, hey, I finished, what's it called, like the Undercity? It's a mod for Skyrim that is the first mod to ever receive the National Writers Guild Award. A mod won a National Writers Guild Award. Like, I gotta see the end of that. That's amazing. Or like, I want to see Skyrim Together released, or I want to see the Samsung Fold, you know? I want to be able to afford a Samsung Fold. I want to see what the new iPhone's gonna look like. Just anything. And you know, it doesn't make your current situation any better. It doesn't make your suffering go away. But maybe for a second you don't notice it so much. Maybe for a second you realize that maybe there could be an end to it. Maybe it gets better. Maybe it doesn't wholly go away, but it gets better than this. And that's what I want to do. There's not a lot of people doing that. You know what? Hey, I've got a lot of things I'm struggling with that aren't fit to talk about in a lot of my social circles, but maybe not even fit to talk about here, but I've got, in that case, I've got Jesse, who's been my lifelong friend and will be forever. I mean, that's another reason. Like, so many times my reason has been, I gotta see Jesse again. You know, I gotta hang out with Jesse again. I gotta, you know, pull an all-nighter playing Fable like we did when we were kids, running around in circles looking for a magic trail that wasn't anywhere near where we were. Because it was 2:30 and we were way too tired to be doing anything. Running around outside on his farm with sticks and guns, chasing God knows what. Playing Halo in the snow. Getting into some light mischief. I mean, nothing too illegal, but just some light fun. And knowing that no matter how bad things got, I at least had someone. And nothing can take that away. I know that not everyone's as fortunate as I am in that regard. Not a lot of people are half so fortunate as I've been. Like, this goes back to being nice to people. It's like, maybe you can be that someone. Maybe you can be a reason. It just alleviate someone's suffering for a second. I mean, it'll be akin to Gregory House taking an Aleve instead of a Vicodin, but it's something. And you know, anything can be enough. It's like that, what Colossus said to Deadpool at the end of the first movie. Being a hero isn't a lifetime occupation. It's 4 to 5 moments. And you know, I've got friends on their way, so I guess I'll leave you with that. Before I'm streaming and they call the front door and I have to buzz them in, and it just turns into even worse than it already is. For probably the 10 trillionth time, you know? I feel like I can get back into this. And for once, I feel like I've just gotten everything out and thrown it away. It'll come back. But I mean, you know, at least I buried it under an inch of sand. At least I've got a second. At least I've got a reason. Thanks for watching. Go be a reason today.